Okay, so last time we were playing this, you guys basically decided where you were going, which is to river-orientated city of Aqua Evadia, where they were basically being attacked by effectively scores of water-based monsters. Okay, so it's basically the night before you're about to set off. So, is there anything you'd like to do while you're in the alpha base?
No, I'm fine.
I guess it's a good idea to stock up with some food.
Okay, so when you were last here, Michaela, you made up various bits of meat jerky and stews and basically meat rations. So everybody has been allocated a share of 10 rations that you made.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Does anybody else want to do anything?
I don't think so. I'm just having a quick look through my inventory.
Okay.
But no, I think the only thing I needed was a restock of food.
Okay, well, Michaela basically made up 10 rations. So, not including Docker, do you just basically want to give, I don't know, two rations to everybody and then keep the rest for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's fine.
Okay.
Kind of work.
Okay. Okay, so do you want to take your sort of like long rest into the next day where you would then set off, or is there anything you'd like to do around town before you do?
Don't look as
No?
I don't believe so for me.
No?
I'm okay to have a long rest.
Yep, okay. So you basically take your long rest in your usual fashion, where you have your dinner and basically just like wake up during the night. When you wake up, you find the Docker has disappeared, and after a small amount of searching, and when you basically ask people if they've seen them, Ethan basically tells you that Docker has simply left during the night and just simply didn't say where he was going, but threatened that he'd murdered Ethan in the event that they did go after him. Once you present this news to the Alphas, they don't seem particularly worried about the fact that he's gone, or where he's going, or anything like that. They just simply shrug it off as if they expected something like this to happen. As if almost as if this was like a game and this was like preordained outside of the game environment. And but they basically just carry on with their plans to leave. It's still sort of like very early morning, so the sun hasn't quite risen yet. But as you're sort of like packing your own kit, getting ready to leave, the base is basically filled with the smells of grease and tomatoes. And as you basically finish packing, George appears with several plates with what effectively equates to what a modern full English breakfast would be. So like bacon, sausages, toast, mushrooms, tomatoes, something resembling baked beans, and mugs of ale, juice, water, whatever it is that you would need. So once you've had all of your food, it's basically time for you to leave. Scott and Casey both give Padwin emotional hugs and sort of like nuzzles on his head and give him sort of like words of comfort. Clarissa says a prayer on behalf of the group, and everybody, with the exception of George, Ethan, and Padwin, all leave the base to get ready to go. In the street is a donkey-pulled wagon, which is waiting for you, and as was pre-arranged the previous evening, you all set off along the northern road to put your different destinations. So, but the way that I basically do travel is that you guys can basically decide. So, you guys basically just allocate who is leading the group, and then that person can decide whether you're going at a slow and cautious route. So you travel 4 spaces, but in the event that, say, like an ambush occurred, you manipulate events so that you have advance warning of it. You can travel at a normal pace, which is 6 spaces, or you can travel at a fast pace, in which case you'll go 8 spaces, but should you be ambushed, you'll have no warning about it.
Okay. If we're gonna be ambushed, I mean, if we know that we're gonna be ambushed, is there any way that we can not be ambushed?
Yeah, that's basically what the main benefit of it is. So it basically equates to you're following the road, but you're not on the road. So but you're going through like tree lines, bushes, that sort of thing. So in the event that you do get ambushed, you'll arrive on the battlefield and the bad guys won't be aware of your presence, which would technically give you an opportunity to ambush them or to simply bypass the situation entirely.
That takes us longer to get to our destination.
Yeah.
Well, I guess who feel like to drive the little cart?
But we take longer to get somewhere.
Are you okay to leave the group?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure.
I mean, you're the big, strong guy, so you can be
All right. Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
get
Sure.
Okay, so not counting the city itself, from where you are, you can basically move 6 spaces. The alphas are already sort of like moving along the road, but should you decide to take a more scenic route, then you can if you want.
I think our plan before was to follow the Alpha until here near Northwick and then go down to Aqua Evadia.
Yeah, that's fine. Can I just move my? So 1, 2, 3.
So I'd say about there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I think we'll just go at like a normal pace for now. We're not in any sort of hurry, but I don't think we need to be too cautious.
Okay. So the journey is somewhat uneventful, and as you basically travel, you strike up conversations with the various alphas. So basically, if there's anything you want to ask the alphas before they disappear on you, whether it's about their backstories or anything like that, now is basically the time.
I do.
Scott, are you a dog?
How can we keep in contact with them if we need them?
Aside from, so Scott's basically the one who answers. Aside from basic courier services, unfortunately you can't. We did used to have several sending stones, which we had placed at every single base, but unfortunately, well, I'll be honest, we misplaced them. But so should you find any, then I would definitely advise making a priority to find them. But bring them to us and we can see if we can re-establish our communication network here. There are, of course, various spells which you could use, writing words in the sky, or put,
Message.
or worst case scenario, you can wish that Frank can send a message for you. Although I wouldn't recommend it.
No. I mean,
Surely
not.
Frank couldn't mess up sending a message, right?
Are you sure?
It might take months for him to actually.
He might
send
send
it.
a strippogram.
He gives it to the wrong person.
Yeah, precisely. Do you remember what happened with the confettis?
Yeah, I didn't know the rules of Frank then.
That's okay. I guess we don't know them either.
It's a work in progress.
Well, put it this way. The last time that we wished for Frank to send a message was back during the war, and we wanted to get in contact with our allies, and instead of delivering the message, Frank decided to open a strip club, invited the people there, gave them a business card for them to get in contact with us, and then several months later they eventually did, thinking that they were hiring strippers, and were rather pleasantly surprised when they got us instead.
I'll be honest. That's top quality.
It is actually really.
That is the most frank. Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything else that you want to ask them?
Scott, are you a dog?
So Scott basically gives you a very amused look and is like, and if I am?
I don't know. I just want to know. I'm sick of this bloody dog that keeps coming round. Are you a dog that follows us everywhere?
But he seems quite reluctant to say it, but everybody else is sort of like goading him into.
Either tell me or I'm going to sniff you.
So the dog that is following around, it's like me, but it's not me, and but.
So it's some pet you haven't told. It's another child you haven't told us about.
And he laughs very awkwardly. No, nothing like that. Put it this way: if I was to ever make contact with you,
I think Scott should roll a deception check for that. Don't know if anyone else agrees. Scott, roll deception.
But bearing in mind that Scott is the equivalent of level 12, so
I don't
he's probably
care.
got
Scott, roll deception.
Would a 21 work for you? But he basically says, should I need to get in contact with you directly, I will always do it in human form.
So you are a dog?
I'm a werewolf.
There you go. Way. Then why aren't you fighting people and doing things?
That's a very... That's a long story. So long, in fact...
But you're level 12. You can kick everything's ass.
Put it this way, if my origin story is to be written, it will take up about 12 chapters of a single book. One which may or may not be currently being written at the moment.
Fair enough.
I'll just put in the video, put corporate segue incoming or something like that. But,
This baby has painted her toes.
he basically tells you that he is a werewolf. And he doesn't tell you the story of how he gets bitten or anything like that, but he gives you enough information that makes you realise that he's a very unique kind of werewolf, as opposed to just the savage monster-based creatures which you would encounter in all things dark, dismal, and evil.
I was gonna say dark Dungeons and Dragons, but you know.
Yeah. So but he's more like a wolf-based lycanthrope as opposed to a werewolf.
Doesn't matter, he's a dog.
And by virtue of that, he then points out that Katie is a lycanthrope tiger.
Well, we established that she was a shape-shifting tiger because we've seen her shapeshift.
Yes, but you were under the impression she was a shapeshifter in terms of a druid.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I'm going to sit on the bench of the wagon and concentrate really, really hard and see if I turn into a human.
Okay. Anybody else want to ask anything?
I just wish we had cameras so I could picture that because that sounds really cute to watch.
I can try to make a little sketch out of it.
Yeah, I can just imagine Frank just appears behind her and just goes pop, and she's like, "Oh, I did it!"
Oh no.
Okay, so nobody has any more questions or anything like that? No delving into the Alpha's origin story?
I don't think so at this point.
I mean, we can ask how the Alpha became the Alpha and how they managed to get that big and the war, what happened, and why happened, why the war happened and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I guess it will take a long time. Yeah.
Well,
if you can do a brief story, it would be
sure.
cool.
You basically have the whole day to basically be told this story because it is somewhat a lengthy one. But basically, Scott and Clarissa first founded the Alphas, and they started off as vigilantes. But they then attracted the attention of a very powerful group of individuals, and they basically sponsored them to assist with fighting a particular enemy, which they identify as a group called Dreadlock. But after X amount of time passed, they began to recruit new members, starting with Jen, and then they recruited a warlock whose name was Joe, but who, for whatever reason, isn't part of the group anymore. But then this group Dreadlock started...
Question. Is that the same warlock that's been mentioned in the one shot?
No.
Okay. Carry on.
But I mean, it could be if you wanted to, but Fourth Wall Break, that this character was based on a friend of mine, and this me and this friend had a big falling out, so that's why he's no longer in the stories.
Oh.
I'm very vicious with people I put in my books.
Oh no.
Remind me never to mess with you.
He's DM for a reason.
So they recruited Jen, recruited this warlock, and then recruited Katie and Jason when they basically went on a joint mission to rescue a land from being captured by Dreadlock. Clarissa and Scott then left the group, and Jen took over, with Jason being her second in command. 5 years passed, and then Scott rejoined the group, but he had rejoined in a much less official capacity, and he was basically working very tightly with the underground elements of the world now. And Jen had basically turned the Alphas into like an official organisation, effectively like a Monster Hunters Guild, as opposed to the vigilante-based organisation that Scott had created. But Scott basically returned and just let Jen remain as the team leader. But then Clarissa came back and she operated in the same way, like Jen's in charge now, so just let her run with it. But after a good couple of years in this particular mode, Dreadlock asserted its head again and declared war on the land which the Alphas are basically from, basically Europa. But there was a major war between these two factions, which was eventually resulted in some sort of peace or stalemate being called, and now the Alphas, but they still exist as an official organisation, but for a lot of people they're war criminals. Which basically brings you to the point where you're at now. And it was during the war that Stick was basically recruited. So,
We haven't come across Stick.
yes, you have.
Oh, bugger off then.
Stick is very much still the outsider of the Alphas, even though they still welcome him into the group. And you basically find out after a little bit of probing that Stick joined the Alphas after slaying a dragon on his first day with being with the group.
He's a dragon killer.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Nice.
You keep dropping your paintbrush. Where's your paintbrush?
So you basically travel along and basically just listen to these stories, and it gets to evening and you're basically out where you are now, and you basically come to a very well practiced campsite. There's a village nearby, and but the team basically set up camp in this on the outskirts of this village. They go to the inn, get food, and bring it to where you guys are. There's a river nearby, so you're able to wash yourselves and basically be freshened up, as it were. But do you guys want to basically just rest until the next day?
Yeah. Can I scavenge for anything useful that I can turn into stuff?
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
What? This is while I'm trying to turn into a human. 11. So I'm like running around trying to like walk on like
I'm human.
toes.
I'm human. I'm human.
13.
Okay. You find good proportion of. They just look like normal rocks to you, but they're particularly jagged and sharp, and you get the feeling that with the right equipment, you could turn them into like slingshots, ammunition, or even if you had like a woodsmith available, you could turn them into arrows of some sort.
I couldn't make it. I can't find it now. I have a trait that lets me do that.
Okay. Do the rest of you want to do anything?
I'm
I can
fine.
make darts or blowgun needles.
Okay. What was that, Michele?
I said I'm fine.
David?
Yeah, I'm good to just sort of rest up,
Charlotte?
get ready for the next day.
Are we at a point where in the next stage travel we're going to be splitting from the alphas?
Yeah, basically the bridge that's ahead of you is where you're going to be splitting.
Yeah. So before we all settle down, I'm gonna like pray, and I'm gonna take a stick of incense, and I'm gonna meditate and pray for good and safe travels on the alphas, and that they will return alive, safe, and healthy.
No. Clarissa will join you in that.
Does she get
They're just
inspired
nerds.
because she's being prayed with by Clarissa?
Okay, so as the evening turns into night and the campsite is basically set up, the alphas start trading stories with you and each other about the various monsters that they fought and killed. But you can listen to that if you want, or just sort of montage through that if you want.
We can listen. I mean, if it's fun for everybody.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be good because it might give us some sort of insight to monsters that are.
We're going to listen
Cool.
and we're going to pretend we're not.
Okay, so they talk about sort of like generic vampires and werewolves and zombies, undead, that sort of thing. So the very bog standard sort of monsters. And then on a more individual basis, the alphas then start talking about the forces that they've killed. And Jason goads Scott into telling you the story about effectively a Jekyll and Hyde style werewolf that he, Clarissa, and Jen fought in their early days, in what would effectively be D&D Paris. And where he basically talks about how they fought this creature for the better part of 6 hours, and they were only able to kill it by literally just shaving off skin over this course of 6 hours until its heart was exposed, and then managed to stake it with silver. Jason talks about a story about Basilisk, where the only way that he was able to effectively cut through its skin was to allow it to eat him and then cut it open from the inside.
That makes sense. I've done that. I mean, in the past.
Whoa.
So basically, basilisk skin is so tough you can't cut it from the outside.
Casey talks about a story where she effectively had to wrestle a water snake in the water, and basically said that the only way to really kill it is to get something heavy to pin it down with while it's on land, and then kill it with standard weaponry, depending on what type of snake it is, because they're just simply too mobile. And Clarissa tells something of a darker story, and she basically talks about the time that she went up against the demon Lucifer.
Oh.
But she doesn't necessarily give any tips about this, because it was very much just a power on power struggle, and how she was basically just able to defeat him simply because at the time she was more powerful.
So what happened to her power? Why is she not as powerful as before? Just got old?
But she blushes slightly, but she basically says that after she battled against Lucifer, she basically went up to the Eternal Realms, i.e. heaven, and then after spending some time up there, where she was basically going back and forth through time to do various religious miracle stuff. She effectively got tired of doing that and then fell back to Earth, where she's now no longer a fully powered angel, but she is still an angel.
With Angel.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you got all this power, why choosing? Why do you choose to come back to Earth? There's sure there gonna be so many other beautiful places that you can just live your life. Why Earth again?
And she looks over at Scott and blushes again, and simply says, "I have my reasons."
I mean, that's why. Okay.
And Katie basically just wraps an arm around her and hugs her tightly, and was like, "And not all of them are to do with Scott." Okay, so this this sort of storytelling takes you late into the night. So by the time that you wake up, it's not nearly as early as you left on your first day. The sun has very much risen and it's now morning. After a very brief rest and breakfast, you basically get back on the road, and you basically come to this point here. The road basically goes directly north from this point, and then to the southeast. But the Alphas basically turn onto the north road, and basically just stop and wait for you. Scott basically jumps down from the wagon, and basically gives his farewells to you. The city of Northwick is visible from where you are, basically standing as an immensely walled city with several spires coming from it, and what looks like an immense sort of like agricultural setting around the city as well. The city itself is also made out of stone with wooden buildings all around it.
Beautiful.
So, as I said, Scott was basically bids you farewell and was like, if you need us, contact us before you hesitate about it. And always remember, every betrayal in history began with trust.
Okay.
Well, that's comforting words.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Can't wait to go about trusting loads of people. Let's go.
So he basically jumps onto the wagon, and Jason basically guides the donkey along, and they basically set off north. So you're now at this crossroads alone. How are you going to carry on your trip?
How far are we? I think just sort of continue moving at a normal pace.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I'll move you there. And let me just see what random events you meet. Lovely.
I
That
don't like
sound
it.
reassuring, lovely.
Yeah, I'm concerned
I
now.
know.
Yeah, just out of interest, how much HP do you guys all have?
Oh,
Not much.
No, we should all be full. We had a rest before we left, didn't we?
Yep.
Okay. So you basically... I was going to say that. Yeah, okay. So you basically arrive to this area of the forest. There's nothing particularly interesting about it, other than the fact that you can clearly see that people have set up camp on this particular aspect of road before.
I've put sticky toffee.
As you basically carry on, if you guys want to sort of like set yourselves up in the middle-ish area here.
We have no tokens.
No, zoom out.
If you zoom out, it's down the bottom.
It does that.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Gosh, now it's gone crazy. I zoomed out and it didn't show any. It's okay.
Yes, it does that. It does that.
that.
Okay, so as you sort of like cross into the middle of this area, the sky above you suddenly I want to say explodes, but it doesn't necessarily have like a boom aspect. So the sky just suddenly washes over with a green light, almost as if you're now underwater and there's a green light emanating from the sky. But all natural light is just immediately robbed from this area, and then you can see in the sky 4 almost like smoking comets flying in crisscross formation over your heads, and then they come crashing down to Earth.
We're fighting more demons.
Okay, so you guys can all see that, yeah?
Yeah.
So these 4 like beings all just descend down into the ground, and despite the fact that they clearly land quite violently, there's no disturbance on the ground where they land. They basically all straighten up, and they're effectively the ring wraiths out of Lord of the Rings, with the exception that you can see their armor, and they have glowing red eyes, and their faces are effectively skulls that have been blackened.
Like Ghost Rider.
Yeah, without the flames.
Yeah, they're Ghost Rider.
And then this one basically steps forward slightly, and whenever he talks, it's almost as if several people are whispering all at once, but it's just one voice that you can basically hear.
Disturbing.
He basically just he says, "Lord Mirad was most displeased when you took out his lackey, and you will pay for this. No longer will the Alphas meddle in our affairs." Okay, guys, you want to roll initiative?
I've got questions.
Okay.
Awesome study.
Yep. What's your question?
Oh no, for these guys. I got a 17 for initiative.
Sure. I'll allow you
I'd
to.
like to know.
I'll allow you
who's
to
Lord
ask
Moradin.
one question each.
Oh, I haven't rolled initiative yet.
Don't worry.
Sorting out cake. My cake is in the oven and will be ready
So, what do you want to ask him?
at 20 past.
Who is this Lord Murad? Is that a name we've come across before?
No, it's not.
Have I missed something? No, that's fine. Didn't think it was.
Daddy, you eat.
Right, let you do this first. Okay, and you said you got 17.
I had +1, so 18 for initiative.
I got 2. And I got 2.
I got a 20, not natural.
And I
You got 20.
Daddy, I got
I
2.
got 14.
I got 2.
You got 2. Well done. McKelly, what did you get?
8.
What was that?
8.
8.
Who did their attacks in the name of?
Lord Murad. Okay, so Charlotte, you have the first move.
Okay.
Banish them.
I shall try. Hang on.
Pretty hot.
Yes, it will be hot. I've just taken out the microwave.
I'm gonna move towards this one here.
So the green one, yeah?
Yep, and I'm gonna
Daddy, you eat the
attempt to hit it with my mace.
Okay.
Does a 23 hit?
Just. Alright. Yep, so roll your damage.
That's 3 damage.
Okay. Okay. You gonna do anything else?
And then bonus action, I'm gonna summon my spiritual weapon in the form of the blue lightsaber as it appears on the screen, but in your imagination, it's 3 stars that are orange and glitter in the shape of a triangle.
Okay. Yeah, what I should probably do with you is, Maya, damn it.
You're alright.
What I should probably do with you, you should send me an image of what you want this to look like, and then I'll make a token out of
I'll
it.
design it and I'll send it to you.
There you go. Okay. But you can't do anything with the enchanted...
Not this turn, no.
Okay. Okay. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Right, so your mace basically flies through the air with great strength, and then you do feel it impacting against the creature, but it's almost like you've smashed the mace into water and it's just become more resistant. You don't actually feel like an actual impact against it.
Awesome.
Okay, right, so the wraiths are next. So... Okay, so this one is going to charge straight at Kashan. But he just sort of like rushes at you without drawing his sword, and just as he gets to you, he dives right through you. And you've taken 5 force damage from him doing that.
Okay.
And then, when he's behind you, he's then going to draw his sword and try a hit against you. Does 15 hit?
No.
Okay, so he misses you in that regard. But blue one is going to do the same thing to Tordum.
Hey!
Okay, so
Can you miss because I'm short?
you've taken 5 damage as well.
Did you not need to know my armor class?
Sorry?
Did you not need to know my armor class?
No, because he's running through you and doing this. So this is more like a byproduct of his spell.
Okay.
And then he's going to turn and try and attack you. And miss that. I know that wouldn't have hit. Okay, so McKelly. But this orange one is going to try and do the same thing to you. But you, as a polearm master, get an attack of opportunity against him while doing that.
Okay. It's just a normal attack, right?
Yeah, that'll just be with your quarterstaff.
Mm-hmm. Alright. 22 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
So it's 6 damages.
Alright.
And they are normal because it's from the core stuff.
Yep. Okay, so he's then going to run through you, and he's going to do 7 damage to you.
Ooh la la.
Then try a hit against you, which missed. Okay. Okay, David, you're up.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'm gonna go for the guy who just ran through us. Let me see what am I gonna do. So I'm gonna activate my Giant's Might first of all,
Sure.
and then just gonna roll for an attack, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Are you using your fire rune?
Not immediately.
Okay.
Because I can only do sort of like one, like it counts as a bonus action, and my Giant's Might is 1 to begin with. So
Okay.
does a 6? Wait, what do I have to hit? +5. Does a 16 hit?
Yep.
Okay, and then 1d12. Oh. Alright, so that is a 10, and then I'll activate my Giant's Might, which is another 3, so 13 damage.
Okay, so the 10 damage is slashing damage. What does your Giant's Might add to it?
It just says add an additional 1d6 damage to a target, so I'm
Okay.
assume the same type.
Okay. Okay. Like Charlotte found, your axe just sort of like fades through it. It does like impact against something, but it's more like it's flowing through water as opposed to something entirely solid.
Okay. I think that is all I'm doing for this round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Natalie?
Right. I'm having a sulk because I got hit by this thing. I'm going to root through my pockets.
So hold on a minute. And
And I'm going to I have a bag and I'm just gonna throw, and I basically out of my bag I'm essentially summoning a friend.
Okay.
A
So I
friend?
need to roll a dice. Give me a sec.
Okay. For the purposes of brevity, it will appear as your wolf friend because I forgot to do the tokens for.
That's fine. I just need to roll a d8. Everyone can see what I roll. I rolled an 8. So I have, out of my pocket, I have just pulled a giant elk. I just pulled a giant elk out of my pocket.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
She basically has
I have
a
a
bag
thing
of.
called a bag of tricks, and basically using it, I can pull animals out of my pocket that can attack for me.
Just a whole elk.
And I've just drawn a giant elk according to the dice roll. I have a giant elk, so I need the stats for a giant elk, dude.
Yeah.
I will look them up in a minute because that's my bonus action. And out of principle, I'm going to. Is anyone near me? Anyone in my way? Where's this? Oh, is that my wolf? That's my elk.
Yep.
Okay, that looks like the dog.
Yep. That's what I was saying for the purposes of.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just double checking. I'm going to use Burning Hands.
Yep.
So it needs to make a dexterity saving throw of 12 on the one that's in front.
Hold on, hold on. You say that you're not gonna set the forest on fire.
No, I'm just sort of like, have an elk. Do I do damage by throwing the elk at it?
I'll say no for the time being because I still need to bring his
Did
stats up.
dexterity 12 doing damage? Did you roll dexterity saving throw of 12?
No.
So he didn't save.
No, you didn't say.
Okay, he takes 10 points of fire damage.
Okay, that's
and
the
he gets
blue
an
one. Yeah?
elk in his face.
That's the blue one, yeah.
The one that I'm fighting.
Okay.
Right, so I need to... Right, so my elk can't do anything on this turn.
No,
No,
you'll
I'm
need
telling
to.
you, my elk can't
Yep.
do anything on this turn.
Okay, and so is that your turn done?
Mhm.
Okay. But the creature very much didn't like being set on fire, and its robes are now on fire, and it's effectively ablaze. Okay,
I just
so
wanted to throw an elk in his face and see what it did.
okay, Michele, you're up.
Maybe. All right. I'm just gonna hit the guy, if I can call it guy, in front of me. I'm gonna use a key point.
Yep.
To do a flurry of blows. So they're gonna be 4 attacks.
Just remember, your unarmed hits now count as magical because you have the circlet of claws, whatever it's called.
Yes. So the first one is at 7. Then we got 19,
Mhm.
a 25,
I think I've got the stats.
and a 15.
Okay, so everything except the first one hit.
Cool. All right.
Just
So-
send you a picture, Matt.
Okay.
Alright, so roll your damage.
I'm calculating. 20. 36.
Okay, so how much of that was your unarmed magical damage?
The first two are 8 and 5. Sorry. The magical damage are 8 and 5, and the other one is a 7.
Okay. Okay. You gonna do anything as a bonus? Or was that your final attack?
No, I can do something bonus.
Really?
He should do a strength saving throw of 12 based on dex, or being pushed away by 15 feet.
It's just lying.
Okay, failed. So are you just pushing him straight back?
Push away that direction.
Okay. Is that all you're doing?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay. So Charlotte, back over to you. New round.
I am going to first of all cast. Hang on, let me just see if it sets anything else on fire.
Get the stuff.
That we have to check is my favourite thing about this.
Oh boy.
What else are we burning today?
I don't think it will because it goes straight to the person. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on green.
Mm-hmm.
Does the 23 hit?
Yep.
And that is 9 points of damage.
So 9 points, did you say?
Yep.
Okay. And what sort of damage is that?
It is radiant.
Okay, and that was against green.
Yes.
So 9 points, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's maths time. Okay, it very much didn't like that to the point that it's actually cowered away somewhat.
Ooh. Has it disengaged or has it just stepped away?
It stepped away, so technically you would get an attack of opportunity against it, as would
yeah.
your sword.
I will certainly try that. Does a 16 hit?
Pulled out.
So does a...
A 16.
Yep.
What? Sorry.
And that is... I can't do maths. 7 points of damage.
Okay, so what are you attacking that with? Is that with your magical weapon, or is that with
No.
your mace?
Oh. I did not even think of that. I will do it. That's with my mace.
Okay. So... Okay, so now your magical weapon gets an attack of opportunity as well.
Yay! A 19.
Yep, that hits.
I'll keep that all in here, like, just in case she.
And that is 7 points of fire damage, I think. I will double check on that. Force damage, my mistake.
4 damage, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now it's the Wraith's turn. So the green one is going to put... it's going to effectively shimmer, and its outline basically turns green and is basically just going to zip over here and then charge a Kashan. He's not going to run through you this time, he's just going to simply engage you. And misses completely. So, but the orange one is then going to do the same thing, and is then just going to blip in front of Turek and make an attack, which also misses. The red one is going to just do a normal attack, which also misses, and the one engaging Tordum also misses. Yeah, these guys aren't having a good day. So, David, you're up.
Fine by me. I think I'm just gonna. Did the red guy seem affected at all from like the last time I attacked him, or?
You did feel its impact against him, and he did.
Weirdly.
And he did make a sort of noise whenever you did hit him, so you did get a reaction from him, but you sense it hasn't really done much.
Okay. In that case, I will try and swing at him again.
Sure.
That is a 22 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
And then, right, let's... Okay, so this time round I'm going to use my fire rune when I attack. So, I got 12 plus 5, so 17 slashing damage, and then I need another 2d6 for fire. And 4 fire damage.
Right, so 4 fire damage. Was that against green or red?
Which one was the one I attacked first? The red one?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll attack him again.
Okay, so 4 fire damage, and how much?
17, so I got a 12 and then a 5 on my extra d6 from the Giant's Mate.
Okay,
So 17
so
slashing.
that'll
And then they need to do a dexterity saving throw of 12 or higher.
be- Okay, just passed.
Darn, never mind. No extra effects.
Okay. You gonna take a bonus?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay. Okay. So Natalie, you're up.
Okay. No, push buttons. I'm going to.
Elsa.
I'm going to cast
And
Firebolt
Mhm.
on the blue one.
Sure.
And I see Elsa for monsters.
18 to hit.
And
Yep.
And Elsa women on chairs.
Well done. Well done.
Took 10 Firebolt damage,
Okay.
Oh, okay,
which is obviously fire damage.
Yep.
And then, using my bonus action, I'm going to tell the elk.
Mm-hmm.
He's 20, this is moving 60 feet. It's not in combat with anything, is it?
No, not at the moment.
I can't move the elk.
You should be able to. I've given you permission.
Okay. No, I cannot move.
Okay, where do you want to move it to?
Basically, I want it to move back and then charge 20 feet at blue guy.
Okay, so about there, then 1, 2, 3, 4.
So it's basically using a ram attack.
Okay.
So right, I've never had to do this before. I'm assuming it takes a dexterity saving throw. No, a strength saving throw of 14.
Yep. So Target takes. And then, right. So do your ram attack first, and then
Yes.
so
So
D20 plus 6.
Yeah, was it?
So that's 9.
9 to hit.
Okay, so no, that doesn't hit. Okay, so it's missed on the ram attack.
It's got a melee attack.
As far as I can tell, it can only do one attack.
Oh, I don't know. I'm confused by this bit.
Yeah, so you can basically do a ram attack or a hoof attack.
Okay, I've done that one. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't do anything.
Right. Okay. Okay, and then McKelly, you're up.
He went away for 2 minutes.
Okay. Shall we go back up to the top, and then when McKelly comes back, he can take his turn?
Sure. I'm easy.
Okay, so Charlotte, your turn.
Okie dokie.
With your new enchanted weapon.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Oh, I can move it there now.
I'm going to.
I don't care to
Can you give the rest to Daddy? Because I've got a
I'm
different
gonna
one.
cast Firebolt on Red Guy.
And I
Mhm.
have a small one.
Does a 17 hit with Firebolt
Yep.
on Red? And that is 4 points of damage. And then, bonus action, I'm going to move my spiritual weapon around me to hit blue guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
Hey, you.
I'm guessing 14 won't hit.
Surprisingly, it will.
Oh wow, awesome. Then, yay. And that is 8 points of damage on blue guy.
Okay. Okay. He doesn't necessarily bleed or anything, but you can tell that he's far less substantial than but whenever he started.
Yay.
So he's effectively bloodied, as it were. So, McKelly, do you want to take your turn?
Uh-huh. Oh, sorry. I'm eating.
That's alright.
Alright. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna attack him normally.
Okay. So, can
Alright.
I have your unarmed strike first?
Yes. Oh, crit.
Okay.
And 12.
Okay, so that's still... That's against the orange one, yeah?
Yes, that's the unarmed strike. And now I'll go with the full arm.
Okay.
Fuck you. Oh. Alright, so the first one is the crit.
Yep.
And here he comes, is a 12. And the other one is a 5.
Okay, so only the crit hit. So do I do damage for that?
12.
Oh, 12 damage, yep. It's one powerful punch. So,
One Punch Man.
Okay. You gonna do anything else?
I can't.
Sure. Okay, so Charlotte, you've had your turn. So the Wraiths are going to take their turn. They're going to pray that they're going to do a little bit better this time. So green guy doesn't. Red guy doesn't. Orange guy hits. And blue guy doesn't. Okay. So... So how much damage does he do? Duties. It's weird, the last time they used these guys in another campaign, they didn't do particularly well either. So I should probably stop using these.
Throw them in the dice jail, they're not allowed to be used.
Okay, so Michaeli, that's 10 points of damage to you.
What colour are the dice?
With what did they hit me?
Sorry?
I'm sorry. With what did they hit me?
With his longsword. Okay. Where's it gone? Here we are. Okay, so David, you're up.
Right. I'm gonna just keep swinging on this red guy, I guess. Try and take somebody out of this situation.
Injured. While you're doing this, you hear a voice in your head go, "You are a fire-breathing dragon."
I'm aware, alright, but I don't want to set everything on fire. Maybe do I? McKelly's right next to me too.
Well, you are kind of facing two in the opposite direction to McKelly.
That's true.
You never know, maybe I'll try copying you and learning how to ride fire.
I expected you to set me on fire already, to be honest.
No, my arrow's been pretty good, but my elk's been pretty crap.
Yeah, Ultra sort of looks at you and is like, "What do you want from me? I'm an elk." And he specifically speaks with the voice of Danny DeVito.
Elks can't speak if
Oh,
you read the
what do you
description.
want?
They can understand what I'm saying, but they can't say anything.
I love everything about that. That just went through my head.
Yep.
You know what? Yeah, sure. That's a good plan. I'm gonna try using my breath attack on the red and green guy.
Okay.
It's been like a 15-foot cone, so that should get both of them. Do I need to roll the hit, or is it just damage? Okay, just damage. 2d6. That's a 5 and a 4, so that's 9 damage. And then they need to roll again a dex saving throw of 12 or higher.
Okay, red one critted. Green one failed.
So the red one takes half damage of that, so 4 or 5, depending on how you want to round it.
Okay.
And the green guy takes full damage.
Which was again?
I've done 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay.
Red guy takes half, and green guy takes the full whack.
Okay, so yeah, green guy really doesn't like that, and he sort of falls back.
Does he get attack of opportunity?
Yep.
Ooh. Let's go. Does 14 hit?
Yep.
Ooh, okay. Right, I'm gonna swing my Giant's Might on it as well. So, on D12, 7, and a D4. Sorry, D6. 2. So, 9 slashing damage.
Okay. Alright. Do you want to take a bonus action?
You know what? Yeah, I'll use my action surge. So I'm then gonna try and swing on this red dude again.
Yep.
I
That is a
completely
15 to hit.
infield what he was going to say there. I thought he was going to say he was going to bitch slap him.
Just bit slap her with the side of your axe.
That is
Does he have a
15.
tail?
15 damage. I've got a tail and jaws, but I can't bite or like tail strike. Like I feel like those should
You
be.
could bitch slap him with your tail.
You mean Caesar can bite, but you half dragon cannot bite? How does it work?
Yes. Yes. D&D. So that is a 15 to hit, and then I rolled 15 for damage.
Sure. Okay.
Kate finished.
Yeah. So you can have the rest if you want.
No, I've got a different one. I was asking because I want to use a plate.
Okay. Right. Right. So it's Nat's turn next, but she's in the kitchen. So Michaeli, do you want to take your turn?
Did we
Sure.
get an answer from these guys as to who Lord... What was his name?
Murad.
Some other name? Murad, yeah. Did we get an answer from like what that was?
No, but should you take one out and force a surrender, you may be able to get
Oh.
more information out of them.
Alright, let's keep going.
So
Let's go,
Michaeli?
guys.
Alrighty. So I am gonna use another key point,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna do 2 hits on the orange one and 2 hits on the red one.
Sure. Right. So can you give me your unarmed strikes first?
Weeby. So the unarmed strikes are 12.
Mhm. Are you including your +1 in that?
And 10.
Are you including your +1s in that?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Unfortunately, neither of those hit. So,
Neither you did the 17.
the 17 hits, yeah.
Yeah, alright. And the pole arm is a fuck you, is a 10. Bitch.
Okay. So,
So
give,
it's the second hit, so it goes on the orange
sure.
again. 8 damages.
8 damage, yeah.
Magic damages.
Nice.
And with
Right.
magic damages, it means it does abracadabra when it hits.
Yeah, like whenever he punches somebody, words describing the impact spontaneously appear out of the air, and they do damage to the person. So he's just like, whenever he punches him, things go in slow motion. So the words "pow" just appear from behind him.
Pow, bash,
Thwack.
abracadabra.
Okay, so can you do a bonus?
Oh yeah, I can do my bonus action. Actually, yes. Again, strength on the orange one, the only one that hits.
Okay, he's failed.
Stay away.
So what happens to him?
Come again?
He failed. So what happens to him?
I can hear you.
He failed.
Oh, alright. Fell. Cool. Done. I'm cool.
So what are you doing to him?
It's been pushed by 15 feet again.
Okay. Okay, so Natalie, do you want to take your turn? Right, so Natalie's basically demonstrating what would happen whenever you guys take a fireball liqueur from the
Is he wearing armour? Metal?
yes.
Well, I'm doing shocking grasp.
Okay.
18 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
I rolled twice because he's wearing metal, so I got advantage.
Okay.
So he takes 4 lightning damage.
Mm-hmm. On the blue one, yeah?
Yeah, the one I'm fighting.
Yep.
The elk is going to damp on him.
So use his hooves.
Yeah. So Sorry, I keep forgetting which one to press for the dice. 20.
No. Ooh.
I hate this bloody. Ignore me. I'm having pissy fits here. No, it didn't hit. It hit an 8.
Okay.
Blurry.
The elk is a legendary creature as well, and he's like doing nothing.
The elk just looks at you and is like, "What do you expect? I'm like 5 seconds old. You literally conjured me out of your pocket. Cut me some slack here." Okay. That's everything for you.
You know
isn't it?
what's funny? I get to keep it until it's the next day.
Yeah.
So we're going to be walking around with an elk.
Well, just remember, you still need to pay for passage to go across the river. If you still have the elk with you, then you have to pay extra.
Oh, it's an elk. I can let him run loose if I want to.
Okay, so Charlotte, you're back up again.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to eat it for my dinner.
God.
Sorry.
Give me 1 sec. I'm just navigating D&D Beyond.
No worries.
I'm quite glad nobody heard what I just said.
Oh no, I think they all heard. I think they're just ignoring you.
I didn't, if I'm being honest.
I
so,
said if the elk didn't start doing better, I was going to eat it.
you know, Morena does not agree, but Charlotte says that's a good source of food.
As soon as I pulled it out of my pocket, it could have already been my dinner. I'll just let it loose.
I could just imagine, like, you just summon, like, a rabbit or something out of your pocket and, like, rabbit, Be a good way to just immediately get temporary hit points.
That is something I want to see now. That is canon.
It's about when no one was perturbed by the fact I pulled an elk out of my pocket.
Oh, I fully just accepted that.
Yeah, I think Morella thinks it's normal now. I'm gonna take a step backwards and I'm gonna cast Firebolt at Green Dude.
Okay, when you say step backwards, are you actually going to step out of combat, or...?
I was planning on it.
Okay, sure.
Can I hit? Yeah, I can. So yeah, I'm gonna cast Firebolt from where I am.
Sure. Okay, let's go and make an attack. And does 13 hit you?
No, it does not.
Okay, cool.
Does a 15 hit Green?
Yep.
And that is 6 points of fire damage on him.
Alright.
And then my spiritual weapon is going to go down and hopefully cleave, like, do a good whack at Blue.
Okay. The good old-fashioned whack. It works, because it works.
Does a 20, but not natural hit.
Just.
And that is 6 points of damage, I think. Hang on.
Okay, just for the record, there's only room for one person being crap at maths in this group, and that's me. So...
It's 5. I couldn't remember what I added on. I overestimated by 1. So it's 5 points of damage on Green.
Okay. That's all your actions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but it didn't... Blue didn't act of opportunity against you, but missed, so you're now free to fully move if you want.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go do my 30 feet of movement round so I can get a bit closer to orange.
Just pass a random elk that's spawned in front of you.
That elk's been there a little while now.
As I go past it, what time of day is it? Is it morning or afternoon?
It's all like mid-morning.
As I walk past, I'm just gonna murmur "Blessed morning" to you, like
It's
Just
gonna nod in
accepting that
recognition
it's
'cause it does
normal.
actually speak Elvish. When I've read the Gump about it, it understands Elvish.
Yeah,
so,
so-
yeah.
It's just
Yeah, you see that the elk has a little top hat on it and just like
No, it's supposed to,
tips
when
his
you
hat
actually
to you.
read the Gump, the
Oh, I
giant
love
elk is
this.
like a legendary.
Yeah.
Do you know the thing that precedes the elf in the Fae? Those type
Yes.
of white stag thing.
Yeah. Okay, so the wraiths are going to take their turn. So green is going to blip here and is going to make an attack against Tordum.
I thought he was running away.
Okay, so that hits. Da-da-da. So he's done 9 damage to you.
Oh my god, I'm nearly dead. I have like 3 health left.
Da-da-da. Orange is going to make a charge at Morella and then jump through you. And he's done 3 damage to you.
Does nobody get an attack of opportunity against these 2 guys that just attacked us?
Only McKelly.
Okay.
Okay, and
No, I'm saying,
then
did they go combat over those 2?
okay, he makes a hit against you and hits. So he's done 9 damage to you, Charlotte.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, so blue guy is then going to make an attack against your weapon. Does your weapon have HP?
I don't know. Let's have a quick look.
Well, either way, I missed. And then red guy is going to make an attack against Gashan. And I'm really sorry, David, he critted.
Oh, of course he crit. Why wouldn't he crit?
So that's 18 points of damage.
18? What? Alright, I'm kind of hurt.
I'm hurt. I'm very, very hurt.
I'm very hurt. I'm not lying on the floor.
Like 1 or 2 hurt.
Oh no.
I'm about to die, if that helps. I have like 3 health.
Okay. So that's all of their moves. So David, you're up.
Okay,
You've just been whacked in the back, and you're just like, you have pissed me off.
right, well, first things first, I'm gonna go for my second wind. And, get a little bit of health back. So we need a D10.
Anything that can help.
We rolled 8, pretty
Oh,
good,
yeah, we
plus
don't have
3,
that.
so I get 11 health. That's nice. All right, slightly less hurt. Nice, good rolls. And I'm fully gonna swing with all of my fury at this guy.
You should really put double class as a barbarian just to get the rage ability and then carry on as a fighter.
So 17 to hit.
Yep.
And then let's go with this. There's 10 damage.
Slashing damage, yeah?
Yeah.
Do these things count as undead or constructs?
Sorry?
Just out of curiosity, do these things count as undead or constructs?
But on your turn, you can do an investigation check to find out if you like.
Okay. That might screw me over in the next turn.
Okay, so is that everything for you?
I believe so.
Okay. So do you want to do that, Nestle? Do you want to do an investigation? You'll count it as a bonus action if you want.
Yeah, because it's not like my elk's doing much. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Nothing. 18.
Okay. But technically, these things are demons. You recognise them from your scriptures as effectively Knights of Avernus. But once upon a time, these people were once mortal people, so they do technically count as undead.
Ugh. Okay.
So they count as undead.
Yeah.
They're demons, but They're sort of like in that grey area between demons and undead.
I'm just trying to find
Ooh.
out because I've got a spell that might a trait that might save my life, but it won't work if they're undead or constructs.
Like I say, they're just demons if you want.
It's up to your DM.
Yeah, I'll be nice. They're just demons.
Let's hopefully make sure I manage to actually kill it.
Are you going to eat the demon?
No. Can't eat it. Nice thought, but not going to happen.
Can you eat a demon? Now I'm curious.
Magic missile. Automatic hit.
Okay. All three of them on the same person?
Yeah.
Green or blue?
The one I'm fighting.
Which is either green or blue.
The one in front of me that's the most dead.
Okay, so that'll be green.
17 damage from magic missile. Please tell me it's dead.
Not quite,
No!
but it is very much on its last legs.
Oh, bugger.
But it's technically fallen to one knee and is using its
doesn't
swords
help.
to
That doesn't help.
hold itself up.
That doesn't
but-
help me. That
Okay.
does not help me.
Okay.
Oh.
Right, McKelly, you're up.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and Dad.
David, how much HP we got left?
I'm back to 16, so I'm alright.
Mm,
I think if anyone needs healing at this point, it's Tordum.
okay.
I have a necromantic spell thing. If I kill with a first level or higher spell, I regain health points to the level that the creature's at that I fought.
You were close.
Alright. If I move, I'm gonna get the opportunity attack, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Though these
So-
people haven't had much luck in terms of hitting you, technically.
Yeah, but now since I said they're gonna crit on me, I can feel it. So no. Let me think. Because I was thinking actually to go and save Tordrum since they got two of them on him, on her.
But technically, your reach with your quarterstaff is 10 feet. So your quarterstaff attacks could be done against green.
Oh, you bitch, that's right. Yeah, but I won't get the plus one though. Alright, hookers. I'm gonna attack the green one then.
Okay, so your unarmed strikes can only be made against red, but your quarterstaff attacks can be made against green.
Yeah, I'm gonna use all my three attacks on the blue one, though,
Okay.
because he's almost dead. Try to pat it down. Right, it's the blue one, right? The one almost dead.
Green.
Can I give you
Green.
this?
All right, let's go on the green then.
How about a hug?
So we got just a 20 and double 8.
Sorry, a natural 20, did you say?
No, just a 20.
Okay, was that against red or green?
The one who has less HP, so the green one, basically, right?
Okay, so you're making a quarterstaff attack.
Well, yes, but it's calculated as an unarmed strike because I can use whatever weapon, basically, whatever weapon the monk is eligible to use, like a short sword or a simple weapon. A simple weapon is even a
Okay.
what is that? So, but I won't get the plus one, so that's I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, okay, good. So yeah. It's just one attack.
Yep.
And then he's dealing, get out of my face, 7 damages.
So 7, did you say?
7.
Okay. So that is actually enough. Like, even though it's you're literally just hitting it over the head with a piece of wood, that is enough to sort of you whack your quarterstaff through this creature, and it lets out an ear-splitting shriek, and just sort of like collapses into effectively a lump of cloth, metal, and bone. And upon seeing this, all of the others basically take a step back and just say to the green one, "Die well, brother." And then they all just fly off into the sky.
Can
No!
no! Can I put an attack of opportunity on it?
Yes, you can. So,
Can we
so
pick them?
everybody gets an attack of opportunity, and then Charlotte, you get one for both yourself and your magical weapon.
Does the elk get one
Same
as
with
well?
you and your elk.
I just got a 24 to hit.
Sure.
16 damage to the one that flew away.
Okay. Okay. And the elk?
Did that kill it?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so David, do you want to make your attack?
Can I attempt to restrain it?
Sure.
Or is it just an
18 to
attack of
hit.
opportunity?
By the elk.
Yep, that hits. Yeah, you can attempt to restrain it. However, I'll allow you a sort of like fourth wall break. Given that it's been able to fly through you, you probably won't be able to hold on to it for long.
We try to do it together.
Yeah, sure. You can do it together with
19
advantage.
damage to it.
Oh, alright, okay. What do you want me to roll? D20? Or?
Yep.
19 damage.
Alright, with advantage. 17?
Yeah, that hits.
So I want to attempt to restrain and ask again who Lord Murad is.
Okay, so you managed to grab hold of like a piece of its armor as opposed to the creature itself, and it doesn't seem to really be in a question-answering mood, and basically just simply says, "You have not won any victories here. Lord Murad will hunt you down, and those who he sends after us will defeat you. His plans for the warlords of Esgaroth has only just begun, and you will not stop us." And with that, it then begins its magic to go through you, and slides through your arms and flies off into the sky.
Alright.
Okay, so Charlotte, do you want to take your attacks?
Yes. Hang on, let me roll.
Would you like to go to the toilet, Maya? Maya? Would you like to go to the toilet?
That is a 15 on my mace and a nat 20 on my spiritual weapon.
Okay, so give me your mace first.
That is 8 points of damage by my mace.
Okay.
I'm amazed.
And your magical weapon? So before I realised that you guys get attacks of opportunity, I'd already deleted them, so bear with me.
That's okay.
Did you try to steal your keyboard again?
You double the whole damage, don't you?
Yeah, so whatever you roll plus the number, then double that.
Oh, mine calculated.
Okay.
It rolled 2 separate dice with mine.
So how much damage?
That's 20 points of damage.
Whoa.
I rolled an 8 on it, and so doubles is 16, and I get a +2, which becomes a +4.
Okay, so as the creature attempts to escape, the magic weapon just simply gives it a good old-fashioned whack, and it falls back down to the ground. And it too is in a sort of like smoking lump of cloth, armor, and bones. But its head is still very much intact, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to do anything with these remains before you do anything else?
I guess we can just search them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, I just plan to search the bodies.
Okay, so their swords are very much intact, and these are very, very specifically, cruelly lethal swords. Like they're not just like a straight blade; they've got spikes in them. So they're basically when somebody is stabbed with one of these swords, they get stabbed multiple times because of the barbs that are in this blade.
Yikes.
And Kashan, you also realise that these barbs can also be used to sort of catch enemy swords in grapples whenever they are basically used in one-on-one combat with another sword user.
Oh, okay. I feel you.
But their armour is, despite the fact that it looks very heavy and it was very protective against your weapons, it is basically just made out of scrap pieces of metal. So you get the impression that the armour was actually more magic based as opposed to the metal that's on their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But the hoods on their outfits have basically just fallen away to reveal effectively a very bald head, and then if you were to take the skull mask off, you would see that these people have literally no facial features at all, not even like a nasal feature of any kind.
Sorry.
No wonder they wear the masks.
Weird fellas.
Okay, so as you basically continue searching, Tordum, do you want to do anything?
Can I steal a sword?
Yeah, you can add a sword to your
I
inventory.
want to steal a sword. And then I'm going to sit there and cry.
I think Tordum needs healing.
I will heal.
If I don't get healed, I'm going to eat this elk.
I'm not doing be home.
Cast
I
cure
don't wanna
wounds
be
on you.
Oh,
Elsa.
I'm sorry, Maya. Maya thought I was said she was going to be a Hulk.
Okay, so she's cast cure wounds on you.
Thank you.
How much health do you give her?
Thank you.
Oh, I did really well. That is. Hang on, I'm having a moment of not being able to do maths. That is 13 points of healing.
Way! I'm nearly at full health. Like 1 point off. Thank you.
Okay, so
I'm just gonna like jump up and like try and hug her, but because I'm so little, I'm sort of like just around her knees.
Is it patronizing to crouch down to receive the hug?
You can if you want.
I'm gonna crouch down to receive it so you can do it properly.
Yay! Hug. So I don't rubby tackle her to the ground by her knees. Can I give her my elk as a pet? You only get to keep it tomorrow morning, but you can have the elk.
Thank you.
the elk just like looks at you very balefully and is like, "What have I been spawned into?"
In the voice of Danny DeVito still.
Yep.
Wait, hey, it speaks Elvish.
Yeah, speaking Elvish with the voice of Danny DeVito.
We're just having full-on conversations about the meaning of life then, because I'm an elf. So we're just like having banter.
And then he's like looking around, he's like, "Are we in Florida?"
I'm not
It
quite
feels like
sure where.
Florida.
Okay, so McKelly, do you want to do anything with the remains?
No. I'm just gonna leave them as they are. Can I actually try to study them and see if they might be correlated with the same demons that the alphas were talking about?
Okay, give me an investigation with advantage. Because you study death.
Oh. 16.
Okay. from what you basically know about the Knights of Avernus, or basically anything that's in Avernus, is that everything is organised by faction. So, so you basically put 2 and 2 together, and you surmise that whoever this Lord Murad is, they are a demon of Avernus who is strong enough to have a strong enough faction to have his own lieutenants as powerful as these demons.
Okay.
But as it current sort of stands in the mortal realm,
Sorry, Maya closed my
you're not entirely sure what that
thing.
would equate to, because you haven't encountered any other demons that would give you a comparison, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
So all you basically know at this point is that these demons are part of Lord Murad's faction, and you gather since these demons have turned up, it's quite possible that you'll encounter other demons who are part of other factions.
Okay, got it.
They also mentioned the warlords as well, so clearly he's got some sort of interest in that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I share all the information gathered with the group,
Okay. Okay, so
and I try to spread the ashes as far as possible. If something weird happens, at least it's gonna be more complicated or something like that.
okay. Right, so with that, these guys have effectively disappeared. Okay.
Can I take the other longsword?
Yep.
Just so that's...
If you just add it as a long sword for now, because the item that is actually is part of a piece of content which I don't actually have access to on D&D Beyond yet.
Okay. That's fine.
It's inventory, isn't it?
Okay, so but only sort of like an hour has passed in this fight. So, what would you guys like to do? Would you like to take a short rest, or would you just like to carry on as normal?
I'd like to take a short rest because I used a few things in
Yes,
that.
me too.
Yeah,
I need my key point.
Short rest sounds good.
Okay. How long a short rest do you want to take? Half an hour or another hour?
I don't know. How long does it need to be a short rest?
Half an hour. But basically the way that I do short rests is that for every half an hour you can use 1 hit die to recover your injuries.
Yeah, just a half hour then, I guess. That'd be good for me because it lets me recover pretty much all of my actions. And a little bit extra health.
Okay.
It's always nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you like to do during this half hour, narratively speaking?
I guess just the things that we've been doing right now, like gathering as much information, trying to share everything, and spreading the ashes. People that try to eat each other, for the usual.
What?
Okay, so David, what do you want to do?
I'm mostly just focusing on like getting a bit of recovery going on. Checking out this longsword.
Okay. Charlotte, what do you
nothing
want to do?
Special.
I'm gonna sit on the ground and I'm gonna have a lovely conversation with the elk. I'm gonna describe all the wonders of the world in a very sweetened manner because that's how I see the world. Everything's like bubbles and candy floss and rainbows and happiness, and assure them that there's nothing wrong
I'm
with the
assuming
world.
Maya put that there.
I did.
Oh.
Okay, so Tordum, what do you want to do?
Can I chase the rabbit that's just appeared on the screen? I gave Elk in command of the elk to Maria. So
Is he?
I'm going to chase the bunny.
Okay. Are you going to actually attack it and kill it, or?
I might do. Can I?
Yeah, if
Can
you
I
want.
attack the bunny?
Yep.
I'm attacking the bunny. Yeah, I big spell. I did something so I could get spell slots back too.
Okay.
Also,
I hit on a 2, so the bunny appears to have eluded me, and I face plant on the ground.
Oops, sorry, Papa. Remember, these are for armor class 11 rabbits. Okay, so the rabbit scampers off.
I've got to keep chasing the rabbit though.
Okay. Okay, so that's your half an hour. So for those of you who want to try and recover health, you can recover one hit dice.
I have done so. I got an extra 7 HP, so
Okay.
Got 3.
I've been trying to, but where do I see the results?
What did you press to do a hit die roll?
I'm not entirely sure, to be perfectly honest. And I've
I
only
think
ever done it
you roll.
manually.
What did
So
you roll?
Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
you've got
so-
to do it manually. So in the short rest, for mine it says it's 1d10 plus 2.
Yeah.
yeah, but for you, Michele, is 1d8 plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically have to roll that manually and then add the results to your
I don't
hit
appear
points.
to have a.
Okay, so you're all short rested. Do you want to basically carry on the way you were going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't take you back to the map because it's very straightforward where you're going. Right, so the orientation is wrong, unfortunately, because I did this without realizing what direction you should be coming from. So if you imagine that this is the other way round,
This is on this side.
yeah. So you're basically approaching it from the west instead of the east. So you basically arrive at the crossing for the ferry. But when you arrive, you find that a series of heavily armoured people are holding back the crowd and stopping them from getting to where the boats are. The crowd all appears to be made out of just random civilian-type people. And you immediately don't see any reason as to why these guards are holding back the crowds in this regard.
Sorry,
Okay. I'm gonna try and sort of make my way through the crowd to the gate.
Same, I was going to follow.
Okay. Michele,
Hello.
this dude here, you recognise as a fellow monk, as it were, of the Temple of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Can I just?
Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Go ahead.
Sorry. Um. Did he see me, or is like busy talking, or what was he actually doing?
He's basically just sitting on the side of the road, just patiently waiting for something to happen. And before I forget again, you guys can add 550 XP to yourselves as well.
Ooh. Alright. And manage XP.
How do I do this? Wonderful.
We're halfway between 3 and 4. Exciting.
Very, very exciting.
So he's basically just sort of just sitting there, but he's not in a sort of like vacant way. He is taking in the things that are around him, and he does notice you and your insignias and stuff, and he basically says, "Oh, brother, are you trying to make the crossing as well?"
Yes, me and my hello, brother. Me and my fellows over here are trying to get the boats. What is happening over here? Why are they blocking us?
Oh, it's some trivial matter about payments and things like that, but God will provide. He always provides.
Payments. It's always been like that?
Oh yes, of course. One must always pay to use the ferries here. It's how the world works, I suppose. Are you travelling to Dripsir as well?
No, we aren't actually.
Oh, so where are you heading then?
Uh,
Aqua Evadia.
nah, yes, but I didn't want to say it. I don't know why.
I was reminding you in case you didn't know. Oh, I didn't actually say it out loud. Oh, God.
Well, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, but we currently going to Aqua Evadia. Yeah, and we heard some kind of stuff happening over there, so we're kind of investigating.
Oh yes, things are happening everywhere it seems, and that's why I am heading to Dripsir. And our order has been informed that some sort of evil spirits are taking over the land there, so we are heading over there. I'm sort of advanced party, as it were, but we're basically heading over to Dripsir to see if we can expel the evil spirits, as it were, with our Lord's help.
Understood. Do you know where all these spirits are from, or you have no clue?
Oh, but I've only heard rumours and hearsay, and I make a point of not listening to these sorts of things until I can see things with my own eyes. But I'm very confident that me and my brothers will be able to expel whatever these spirits are and bring peace to land, for all is as God's will, I suppose.
I see. To see, to believe, I guess. Alrighty then. Do you know roughly what is happening to Aqua Evadia? Do you know anything that is going on? What's going on over there?
I have heard various things from the people travelling amongst this crowd. From what I can tell, along with the raids from the heathen Danes, but some sort of water spirit, Maya. Some sorts of water spirits are attacking the burrs and the water fortresses. I don't know if the two are connected, of course, but then again, I'm less than inclined to comment, as it's not necessarily my business. And he turns to you, Kashan. I say, big fellow, what are you doing with that javelin?
Oh, I'm just playing around. Don't mind me.
Cool. Well, I guess good luck to you, and I hope I'm gonna see you soon in One Piece.
And I you, brother. Go with God's grace, as I'm sure you always do. Be devout, be stern, but above all, be holy.
Well, thank you for that. Same bag catcher.
Okay, so Natalie, what would you like to do in this situation? I'm assuming that you're nibbling on the monk's leg as he's talking.
I'm sort of sniffing everybody to see if anybody has food.
Yeah, that reminds me, you've still got your elk with you, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, is it the next morning yet?
No.
Okay, so we've got it to the next morning technically. Yeah, I'm sitting on the elk, like, and just sort of like staring at everybody to see if anybody shows any sign of having food.
Mm-hmm. Charlotte, what would you like to do?
I'm trying to decide how impulsive Morella is at this moment.
I suppose that depends on how much your corruption with Danny DeVito the Elk has corrupted you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Morella never thought any of this was going to happen when she left the temple. She is gonna go through the crowd being like, excuse me, sorry, I just want to get through to the guards, please. Sorry, excuse me, sorry. May Lyria be with you. Have a blessed day. And like,
Just gonna
try
charge the elk for it. You know Frank's just turned up, right?
Wait! Oh no!
Not only is Danny DeVito corrupt now, but Frank seems to just be following this poor girl.
Hi, Frank.
No, but he basically turns round and he doesn't seem to have noticed that you were there, and so, wait, what are you doing here? Wait, what am I doing here? Where am I?
No one called on you, Frank.
Can the
I'm
elk
sorry.
sit on him or something?
Frank, while you're here, how does your movement throughout the plane work? You seem to just appear wherever you want to appear.
Well, put it this way. I was in a church with rather muscular attired gentlemen, and we were saying things, but I can't remember. I've had quite a bit to drink last night. And he turns round to basically look out to the ocean. You can see the words "just married" are tattooed on his back.
Oh no.
Probably not important. And he disappears again.
Okay.
My hand's going through the air as he disappears, like, because I was going to tap on him on the back to be kind. And I'm going to look to the others and go, "Oh, tell him next time we see him. It'll be fine." And then I'm going to...
Start ready.
And then I'm going to try and weasel my way through the crowd to the guards.
Okay. The crowd isn't necessarily sort of like queuing or just being obtrusive. They are, and they do allow you to basically move through them quite easily. It's more like a case of they're just here because they don't have anywhere else to go.
Okay, and then when I get to the guards, I'm going to sort of bow to them and I'm going to be like, "Blessed day, gentle beings. Just a small, tiny little query. How much is it to board the ship to somewhere?"
The centre guard basically looks at you and he's like in full heavy plate armour to the point that you can't actually see any aspect of his flesh. And so you basically... And like his armour mouthpiece is so tight that whenever he breathes you can see the steam coming out of it. And he basically says, "Are you with the rabble?"
What's a rabble?
No, not quite. We've just arrived. We just would like to know how much it is to get to Aqua Evadia.
Aqua Evadia, and he basically turns around and is like, "Boss!" And a very sort of like scruffily attired orc basically comes over and is like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he's like, "We got new customers. They're going to Aqua Evadia, not Dripsir." Like, "Alright, let them through."
How much is it to Dripspear for everyone else? Just a small, tiny query.
So the guard doesn't answer your question, but just simply sort of ushers you onto the decking, if that makes sense.
I follow, and I'm going to keep repeating the question.
Oh, I was going to move my character. You just like casually move.
So the guy doesn't answer, but the orc basically
You go.
looks at you and folds his arms. McKelly, are you joining them?
I'm sorry. Yes,
Alright.
I'm here.
So the orc basically just folds his arms and is like, "Welcome, you're looking for a passage, are you?"
Yes, but why are we allowed and no one else is it to do with what's happening over at Dripspear? Is it because it's detrimental, or is it because you've put the prices up so high that you can't give anyone any joy?
Well, I'm not entirely sure if that's your business, but these people want to go to Dripsir, you want to go to Aqua Evadia, and he sort of does that thing with his hands where he sort of crunches his knuckles. So let's start crunching some numbers. How many of you are going to Aqua Evadia?
Oh,
Now he looks at the elk and is like,
No, the elk go back in my pocket in about
or
sunset. No, dawn.
"Right. Okay. Well,
Okay, I can put it back in my pocket now.
at this point, the elk is like sniffing him very like intrusively. So he's like, "Yeah, that might be an idea."
Fine, I'll put the elk back in my pocket.
And he basically sees this happening and is like, "You wouldn't happen to have one of those in boat form, would you?"
No,
Yeah, that's a shame.
I don't know. Do I have on this? I don't actually know what's in my bag. Can I look?
I'm fairly sure you don't have a boat in your bag.
No, I'm going to look at what I can. I don't know if there's any help, but I could try for a giant rat. They can swim.
No, I don't like rats. Is there a volume control on that? Thank you. So, if you're going to Aqua Evadia, I can take you to the main crossing. It'll be 2 silvers each.
Easy peasy.
I don't actually know where my money I've got.
So,
I
McKelly,
have
what was that?
silver.
Yeah, 2 silvers each is fine.
Alright, good. Well, if you want to jump in the boats, me and my sons will take you over. He's like, Nossim, Nossim, get your ass over here. So the two, they're not necessarily boys, they're sort of like mid-teens.
That look nothing
Is it?
like him.
So I put, this is Nossim and Unum. These are, shall we say, the Tordum sons.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Right, fork over your coin and then I can take you over.
Does anyone need a hand
Silver
paint,
coins.
or is everyone capable?
No, we should.
I guess we all are. I mean, capable.
Yeah, so you can either fork over 2 silver each, or one person can pay for all of you if you want.
I gave 2 and jumped in a boat.
Okay.
Although I don't
Yeah.
like jumping in a boat, so I'm kind of okay again.
Yeah, you just go into the boat. I don't like the water, jump back out.
Yeah. Like, nope, don't like that. Okay.
Can I take Tordum's hand and be like, hey, it's okay. We can do it together. You can sit next to me and I'll make sure you don't get splashed by the waves.
Okay.
Aww.
Friendship.
See, if Dorker had come, I could have just hidden his cloak.
And so, just before he and his sons get into the boat, he basically turns to the other guys and says, don't let any of them pass while we're gone.
I should have just let the elf charge around. If I just left him to go wild, it would have been quite funny.
Okay, so you guys all ready to set off?
I'm just
Yeah.
having a little bit of fun here. Give me a sec.
Can I also drape my blanket that I have out in my backpack around Tordum?
You can if you want. No,
Be like, it's not quite a cloak, but this might help.
Can I just casually throw a thing out of my pocket and I just throw a boar on the dock and just let it run wild?
do you want to do that while your
Like when
passage?
the boat's already got going, I lob it.
Okay, you can if you want.
Yeah, so the boat's leaving and I just throw a pig. Pig onto the dock.
Okay, so the boat that you're in, it's basically, it's not quite a ship, but it's a very, very large boat. And the orc whose name is Haston. Basically tells you the story about the size of his boat. And basically, in various aspects of the Clinging Isles, there are taxes on which are all based around the size of your boat. So, if he goes any larger, his vessels will count as ships, and therefore he'll have to pay more tax on them. So he keeps them deliberately this small, so he doesn't have to pay the tax on them. Put shipyards and stuff.
Okay.
If you sort of imagine this is about the same size as a Viking longship.
Okay.
Okay, so he basically just takes you across the river, despite the fact that it's not. Despite the fact that there's not really that much to go, it's only like 10 miles. It's quite slow going because he's currently going against the tide. So by the time that you get to the other side of Aqua Evadia, it's coming close to evening.
Got it? Oh,
Ooh, people.
all these gods.
Okay, so
I can fight 'em.
So you basically start when you start seeing the other side, you immediately tell that this is a very heavily fortified area. But you can see that the entire beach is rigged with wooden spiked palisades, and further up the beach, because you're basically going up a hill, there appears to be a fortification going along what would be considered ground level. But the guards, sort of, they don't meet you with any sort of open hostility, but you can see that the archers that are on the dock have arrows drawn, and they basically follow you as you pull in. One of the guards throws a rope to one of Haston's men, who basically ties off the boat, and you guys basically disembark. The guard who basically stands who's thrown the rope to you, basically just says, "Greetings. What's your business here?"
Pig! Sorry.
Wait, are you throwing the pig here?
No.
Okay, right.
I was showing up pig. I left my pig behind.
I left my pig behind. So who's going to answer this?
Ouch.
Well, I have
We're
the alphas tattooed
here.
on my nose, don't forget.
Mm-hmm. What are you saying, McKelly?
We hear on behalf of the alphas.
The guard sort of scratched his head and said, "I don't know who the alphas are. You some sort of like mercenary group or something?"
We're here to kill the water.
And the guard looks at you, strangely, and then he says to you, Merelda, in sort of like, sorry, Morella, sort of in sort of disjointed Elvish. She says, "Your friend says they suffered some head wounds recently."
I'll respond back in Elvish as simple as possible. No, we heard about it from some colleagues, friends, and we thought we'd come to help.
Are you talking about the? And then he says in English, like, "Are you talking about the water demons?"
Yeah, we come to kill the water.
Precisely.
Ah, I get that. Water demons. Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, you'll need to travel to the city itself before you can actually do any hunting. There's licenses you'll need to fill out and etc.
What if I bring my own pig? Do I need a license to hunt my own pig?
The guard at this point has basically just learned to sort of ignore what you're saying, as it were. At the beginning of the dock, you'll see my captain. He's the one in the hat, whereas everyone else is in the helmets.
What's a hat?
Speak to them, and they'll see if we can get you past this checkpoint.
Can I lean really closely to Maria and go, "What's a hat?"
It's a thing you wear on your head. I'll point it out when we see them.
Okay.
Okay, so you basically go through the dock. You can see that this thing is in a very poor state of repair. So there's holes going through it all the way to the water below. There's algae growing all over it, and it seems very, very unstable. So in the case of Tordum, you're very glad whenever you're offered and back on solid ground. But barring your progress, are basically two lines of heavily armoured infantry with very, very large shields. So the first group are basically holding swords, and then the group behind them are holding spears.
I'm just lying on the floor kissing the ground.
And then from sort of like the middle of this these shield walls is a slightly taller figure who's dressed in very heavy plate, except they're wearing effectively a cowboy hat instead of instead of a helmet.
Oh, see, Tordum, that's a hat.
Wow.
So this guy basically says, "Greetings, strangers. What's your business here in Aqua Evadia?"
Again.
Kill
we
the
just-
water.
We help with the water demons.
See. Do you have papers of identification? Do you have a writ to be here?
Is that the different one?
Can I just point at my nose?
No.
Can I show him the tattoo?
This doesn't seem to trigger anything with him. Is that? What is this? Some sort of like mercenary mark?
Interesting.
I have no idea.
Okay, so the answer is no. You don't have a writ.
We were told that we could get some sort of license in the city, and that the gentle beings that greeted us off the boat said that we could go into the city. You'd let us pass, and that we could get them so we could help you.
Yeah, I see. Well, there's a bit of a queue to get past this checkpoint, so sit tight, and someone will be along to help you along shortly.
Go to Daddy. Get up and
And so he basically goes over to towers, and they basically put, and they basically just told to wait. After a little while, quiet, Baba, quiet. After a little while, it becomes clear that nothing is actually happening.
Yeah.
I'd like to shout him over again.
And this might be Elsa.
Right, so did you say you were going to shout over to him?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you do, but the men who are sort of like barring a path suddenly become more alert, and one of them even draws a sword.
Ooh.
And the captain basically comes over again and is like, "Yeah, what is it?"
There doesn't seem to be much of a queue outside of us. What's taking so long?
And so the guy basically just shrugs and is like, "Well, we can't just let any random people come through, particularly if they don't have their writs." And he says this very deliberately, and gives you a somewhat sneering but evasive look. He's like, "But of course, this could always be helped if you had the right." And he twists his fingers and thumbs together and he's like, "Paperwork."
Or maybe if you were kind, because you see, we are travelers under the faith of Lyria. Blessed be your day.
And he
I have a
just,
follow-up question.
sure.
Who would take your place if you were to die here?
Oi,
Men?
oi. No, this is not what we're doing.
Bear with me. Just a question.
So he seems to have gone down the same thought process as Turek in this regard, and well, if you're so desperate to find out, you can always follow up on that comment.
Or boys, maybe we could have a little faith and kindness in our heart. And I'm gonna make sure the symbol of Lyria that, like, on the medallion that's hanging from my neck is on show, to see if that helps at all.
Give me a religion check.
That's a bunny. It's a bunny. It's a bunny.
Bunny.
Pop, 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 pop. I don't have a rainbow here.
Does 17 work?
So he basically does sort of hand movement similar to the Catholic cross, and is well, so paperwork for the religious class, shall we say, can always come at he sort of makes a sort of coughing noise and like discount.
How hungry are your men?
He turns to you and is What does that have to do with it?
Would a pig feed you?
Well, my men would enjoy a good pig, but all the pigs belong to His Majesty in Aqua
Can I throw
Evadia.
the pig out of my pocket?
You would have to roll for it, but
Again? Can I just throw the pig that I already rolled for?
you mean the pig that you left in Northwick?
Can I tell him that I left the pig on the other dock?
It wouldn't really do much good for him, but
Please. I don't know what number 2 is.
Two. I have two. I need two.
Oh, give him a giant rat.
God.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, so a giant rat has appeared next to you. And so the captain
Or I
basically,
can upgrade it to a weasel.
the captain basically just looks at you and says,
Weasel. No, a badger. Do they have a giant rat or a badger?
so he basically looks at it and is like, you have a very weird idea of what a pig looks like.
The pig's on the other side.
So he folds his arms and like, well, what good would that do us? We're here, not over there.
Can go send that guy to go get it, pointing at the boat. They also left an elk over there too.
Turek, do you want to add into this?
Sorry, guys. I got a little bit distracted. Do you mind repeating what happened?
But Tordum has tried bribing them by giving them a pig, but unfortunately she gave them a giant rat instead.
Well, is it random what he got from the bag, or it's just
Yeah, basically, if she decides to use the bag, she has to roll as to what animal it
I have
is,
to
and
roll,
then
and there's a chart that tells me what animal comes out.
okay. So I want to ask to the guards, the captain, is there any way that we can get that document from nearby?
How much does your paperwork cost?
well, and so he seems to sort of straighten up now because you're sort of like talking business, and he's like, I'm sure a gold each would be more than enough for this situation.
What?
Does that go between your men?
Yeah, it might do, depending on how good they are.
Put out your hands.
What do you think, guys? Wanna
So
go?
he basically asked for money to get in.
He's asking for a bribe.
This is illegal.
I am prepared to eat it.
What's quite a bit. Do you think between us
Can I
and
eat it?
whispering this, maybe we could try to barter with him to get it lower? He said if we're religious, it might be a discount. Maybe he forgot that we're all religious, guys.
Are we? Oh yeah, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes,
Um,
yes, we are. We are all religious.
Can I do an insight check to see how strong these like people in front of me are?
Yep. Okay, if you can do it with advantage, and I'll explain why in a minute.
Okay. So the first one I rolled was a 2, so advantage is really good because I got a 19.
Okay, so but
Yeah.
you in your soldiery days, you have actually served with the Aqua Evadia military before.
Put the wing on.
And you basically know how the army is basically divided. So you basically have what's known as the household warriors. And these are basically actual warrior people who have been handpicked by the various lords to do military service. And then you have what's called the Fjord, who are basically civilian conscripts.
Okay.
Okay, and you basically recognise by the virtue of the fact that these guys have armour, helmets, swords, and shields that these guys are household warriors as opposed to the civilians. The guys on the second row behind them, You can tell that they're not standard household warriors. You're guessing that they're some sort of mercenaries, but your insight is that these guys are quite tough.
Do you want me to do?
Okay. What do I know about the sort of structure behind it? Like, who would be ahead of this guy?
This guy is effectively just a garrison captain. So at some level, this garrison, in terms of its land, will belong to a lord, and then that lord would have power over this guy.
Okay. Could I attempt, like, to the group? I could attempt to intimidate him over, you know, threaten with the Lord.
Yeah, can we not do a group check so we get more bonuses?
Okay, so are you looking for intimidation or deception? Or persuasion?
I mean, I've got high sort of like bonuses to intimidation. So I was thinking of like, you know, in a sort of threatening manner, asking if his lord knows about the bribe.
Sure, go for it.
That's
Just
being
a,
passive aggressive, you know that, right?
yeah, but I haven't beheaded him, so you know.
That comes
All right,
later.
so I rolled a 17. I get +4, so 21.
So the guard
To
captain.
intimidation,
I
yeah.
got an 18. I'm like biting my teeth, threatening to eat it.
So the captain basically loses his posture a bit and is like, what happens here isn't necessarily my lord's business. Should he decide to show up, as it were, then it might become his business. But I'm the one asking for the money, not him. It's not broken.
So what's your lord's name?
It's broken.
Yes, it is broken. His name is Lord Yorfawig. And he's not necessarily telling you this because he wants to, but Kashan, you would basically know that by virtue of Aqua Evadia law, if anybody needs to ask a question to identify who a lord is, but a member of that household is legally obliged to answer that.
Ooh. Okay. So how about we pay you whatever, but then as well on your tomb, then I'm gonna find your lord and I'm gonna tell him that you are taking money from people to let them pass through the gates and see who's gonna be in trouble later.
He doesn't seem particularly intimidated by this. Seems that, well, in all honesty, he'll probably just take the money for himself. But if you're willing to pay, you're willing to pay.
How about I give you 2 gold pieces, and everyone here forgets that you asked in the first place.
And he sort of like chews his lip for a moment and is like, alright, sure. Two gold is 2 more than I had 5 minutes ago.
Okay, I'll do this and remember the guy's name.
Okay, so it's Oddard Kothwa.
Oddard Kothwa.
Okay, so but this entire experience is taking you pretty much into late evening, so the sun is pretty much setting. So do you basically want to just journey through this checkpoint and then set up camp by the road, or do you want to travel on a little bit into the night and see if you can find...
Can we ask if there's a place nearby we might find like lodging or?
The captain doesn't seem particularly happy talking to you, but one of his men basically says that, no, I'm afraid there's nothing here. This coast was long ago ravaged by the Vikings, so folk have stopped putting their dwellings on the coast. If you travel further inland, you'll be able to find an inn somewhere, but unless you're willing to sleep under the stars, you're not likely to find anywhere.
How dangerous is the area?
What was that?
How dangerous is the area if
I
we wish to sleep outside?
mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's hostile. I mean, you might get attacked by a bear here and there, or maybe a wild pig. But, I mean, there are bandits on the road, like there is anywhere else. But I can't imagine it being any more dangerous than anywhere else.
Understood.
Okay.
I did it.
Let's.
Well, how will it take to reach the city?
Okay. So, following the sort of like guidance before, you're basically here, city is here.
Oh boy.
Could we make it one of these like villages? Or
Okay, so assuming that you sort of like stayed in this area overnight, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A standard day's journey will take you to this village.
do we just want to do that, or should we rest up this? Do you reckon?
I'm happy to go straight to the village.
Yeah, sure. I guess we'll
Okay.
go with like a normal day's movement.
Yeah, so you've basically done a full day's journey already, so you would need to basically take a long rest to come into the next day and then do some travelling.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
good. So we'll just rest up like just inside the checkpoint. Like we'll travel a little bit to set up the camp.
Okay. Right, let's see if anything happens. Nope. Okay. So the fact that you're also like in the shadow of this military, Maya, calm down. The fact that you're in the shadow of this military checkpoint seems to work in your favour. No sort of like bandits or thieves come in the night or anything like that, so you have a fairly uninterrupted sleep, bar the fact that the patrols basically change their shifts at midnight. So you're basically interrupted in terms of rest by the fact that a new patrol of guards comes off the road, demands who you are and what you're doing,
Okay.
and then takes their position. Right, so it's morning, so do you just want to just do a full day's journey to the village?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you basically journey throughout the town, you're following the road that you're following was once a paved road, but it's suffered so much damage that it's now simply just become compressed rock and effectively just a dirt road. The route that you will basically take sort of goes in a straight line, but it does deviate in various places just to overcome certain landmarks, like a ruined town or a particularly large rock. As you... Right, so you basically get to here. And you basically come to a village, which is basically on the first point of the first crossing of the bridge. Okay, this area appears to be recently ruined and then recently rebuilt. But it looked like at some point there were stone dwellings here, but now it's just simply been replaced with wooden thatch.
Okay.
But the bridge itself is again a heavily fortified checkpoint, which also is in the process of being rebuilt. But from what you can see, basically where you are, that the main buildings here appear to be an inn, 3 homesteads, some sort of farm, some sort of farmhouse which has been converted into a church, and so one of those homesteads appears to be a barracks building of some sort for the guards that are on the bridge.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you guys like to do now that you're here?
Can I go to the church?
Sure.
Not around her neck, no. Where are you taking her?
Okay, so as you open the door, you can hear the sounds of somebody doing a very bog standard prayer, and they're doing it in a very bored voice, to the point that you realise that they're just simply saying it just for the sake of saying something, as opposed to like having any sort of further behind it.
I'm gonna like do a knock on the door and enter, and if whoever's in there sees me, I'm gonna bow to them and greet them and say, "Blessed day be with you."
I'm sorry, I missed all of that.
I'm gonna enter. I'm gonna bow to whoever's in there and greet them with "Blessed day be with you." And then I'm gonna take a bench, like sit on a pew, and I'm gonna start praying and sound enthusiastic and happy, and I'm gonna like do a little dance in the spot, and I'm gonna try and bring some life to this place.
So the priest that is basically in this church is a very, very fat person, and you can see that this that he's not just fat but very particularly unfit, and he basically waddles wherever he goes. So he basically comes over to you and is like, but why are you disturbing the sanctity of my church?
Well, I have always been taught that one should always be free to practice their beliefs, and as a follower of Lyria, this is the closest thing I could find to something like my temple from home, and I didn't mean to disturb you. You just sounded tired, and I thought I could take over your daily blessings for you.
I see. Well, here we worship the holy trout. Assume you know what the holy trout is.
Do I know what the holy trout is?
So what was that?
Do I know what the holy trout is?
Give me a religion check.
That is a 14.
Okay. You know what the holy trout is in terms of mythology, and it's basically a piece of fish which a saint once upon a time was able to feed 10,000 people with. But you also know that the Order of the Holy Trout is effectively what the Red Paladins are. Charlotte?
Okay, I'm gonna answer and be like, of course, my apologies. Blessed be your day, and I'm gonna leave.
Okay. And run straight into Tordum.
Don't go in there, it's weird. They're very unjoyful.
Okay, so David, what are you doing?
So we've done like a whole day's sort of movement. So are we looking to try and like spend the night here, guys? Is that?
Probably should.
I'm gonna head to. Is this like the barracks looking building sort of thing?
This is the barracks. These are homesteads. This is the farm, and this is the inn.
That's the inn. Alright, okay, well, I'll head on over to the inn. Let's go speak to this fellow here,
Okay,
who I assume is the bar owner, asking if he has any rooms spare.
sure. As you enter the inn, you can hear the sounds of two men laughing and the sounds of a musical instrument just playing like a very simple melody. There's two fire pits in the middle of the inn, and they are appear to be cooking a meal. There's a very substantial bare rug in the middle of the floor, and there's basically benches and tables lining the outer walls. But from where you are, you can see the entrance to 4 different rooms, which you assume would be the guest rooms should you decide to book something. The guy standing across from the bar is a very broad-shouldered man, and you can tell instantly that this guy was once upon a time a soldier. But he's got a very distinct scar across the top of his head, and it's actually severed his hairline, so his entire sort of like forehead to the middle of his head is completely hairless.
Okay.
And he also appears to have another scar that goes across his mouth and down his neck. And he's also missing 2 of his fingers on his right hand.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask if he's the owner of the establishment.
He just he sort of like lets out a grumble. He wasn't doing anything, but he's acting as if you've interrupted something. He's like, "Yeah, Arsling, I'm the manager here. What business do you bring?"
We're on our way towards Aqua Evadia. I'm looking for a place to spend the night.
How many are you, Arsling?
4.
An elk. Oh no, sorry, not elks.
Right. Will you all be needing separate beds?
Will we be
I
needing
don't mind
separate
sharing.
beds? Preferably, if you have the room.
Well, I have the room. It depends on whether you got the coin, Arsling.
And how much coin would you be asking?
3 silvers for a room each, but if you're all willing to share a bed, I can do for 1 silver.
I don't know what a bed is. I sleep on the floor.
I feel like I'm definitely too big to be sharing a bed.
I don't require a bed. I trance for 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, I want a bed, because I want a bed.
Let me speak with my companions. I'll return.
Whatever you say, Arsling.
It does
Alright.
sound like you're saying arsling.
Are you guys coming
I
in?
am
Or?
coming, but my
Yeah.
computer's playing up.
I'm over.
That's fine. So,
I'm trying to
You-
do my character and my screen's going big and small.
okay. So what? Do you think we should just get like 2 rooms, or?
Yeah, I'm happy to sit on a chair in front of the fireplace and trance all evening.
Okay. Alright, well, I'll go back to the guy and say that we'll take 2 rooms.
Alright, is that... Alright then, that'll be... You know what, Arsling, I'm a fair man. I'll put that down as 4 silver. 5
Okay.
if you be wanting food.
I'll give him the 5 silver. Let we all eat.
Pleasure doing business with you, Arsling. You can take the 2 rooms on the left.
His left or my left? This one or this one?
Yeah, these ones.
Alright. Alright, okay. I'll okay, so got those 2 rooms there.
I'm just.
What sort of time is it? Like what kind of
It's evening to the point that you would be considering to stop travelling, but you would still say there's a couple of hours left in the day. So should you want to explore this settlement, then you can. Food
I'd
will
like
be
to-
ready in about an hour, Arsling.
I'd like to ask him if, like, what the checkpoints like here. Explain that we had some difficulty with coming in from the coast.
Let me guess, Arsling. You came here with all good intentions and what like, wanting to put your sword to good use in defense of the realm, and the other Urslings at the checkpoint decided to rob you blind for everything you're worth.
Well, he tried his best. I did
Yeah,
let him
they-
leave with his head, however.
Yeah, they say that it's all done for the safety of the realm with all these taxes. He spits.
I'm guessing he doesn't like these things called taxes.
You're right, so don't. He spits again.
In the time that I've sort of like served with the military here, has it changed a lot from sort of like when I was there, or?
Right, so you basically served at the time whenever the Vikings were in full invasion of this place. So all
Okay.
of the fortifications and ruins that you're seeing are new to what you had previously seen. You had seen this when this was all open country and it was all being raided and destroyed by the Vikings. So all of this fortification and militarized aspects, that's all new to you.
Okay. I mean, I'd sort of relay that I remember being a different place.
Oh, aye. Back under the time of King Ethelred, Arsling, we had... Well, it wasn't necessarily an easy life, but it was a good life. Men could travel freely across roads without having to pay these, he spits again, taxes. But just simply to cross a living road. But all the Urslings that are around here, all they give a crap about is silver and stroking their master's cock.
And between you and me, are there ways past these checkpoints?
Sorry?
Is there any way between me and you past these checkpoints?
You could swim the rivers if you're feeling brave, Ursling, but lots of people tried that, but then the sea ghouls and sea monsters came. So I wouldn't recommend it. You might not know what will be swimming down under there with your Ursling.
Very well, very well. Who's the person sitting in the corner? Is that just like a bard of some description?
Yeah, that's the person who's playing the musical instrument. And at a glance, you can see that she has some sort of relation to the barkeeper.
Okay. I think sort of for my time while I'm waiting for food and stuff to be done, I'll go up and attempt to join our performance.
Okay. So she basically looks at you. She's very young, so but sort of 12 years old. But she basically, and she has to like lean back in order to take in your height. And so, would you like to make a request?
I'll sit down. I'll sit down like over here, so I'm not sort of scaring her. No, not a request. Just here to join a fellow player.
Okay. But what would you like to play?
You start and I'll follow.
Okay. So she basically begins her song. Can you give me a performance check?
I can. I rolled 15. I have +4, so 19.
Okay. The song that she's playing is just quite a stereotypical religious ballad. So it's basically just a series of simplistic chords which she just plays over and over again at different speeds. So it's the sort of song that you would sing while on a boat, like, and did she if she had included any sort of like lyrics with it, then it would just simply be the same verse over and over and over again.
That's fine. I'm just gonna happily sort of like play my. What did I have? A flute of some. I'm sure I had like a flute or something, didn't I?
Yeah, I think that's what you used last time. Yeah.
Yeah, so something along those lines. I'm just gonna sort of play along with her.
Can
Relax a little.
whilst the music's going, can I go to Churik and try to get him to dance with me to the music?
Oh boy.
I'm poking the bear head on the rug
Okay.
to see if it moves.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Mommy, you help me.
In a second.
Okay.
10.
Okay. You poke it with like your fingers, then your tail and your foot, and it doesn't do anything.
You help me.
And you're like, why is this bear sleeping? And you start getting more and more violent with it.
Baby bed.
That sounds about right. Can I try like licking it?
You can if you want.
You can
So the bartender sort of like looks over the bar and is like, "Oi, Arsling, get your pet lizard away from my bear."
What's a pet? I'm just gonna sit there and be like, what? What's a pet?
Oh Lord, fucking hell, it talks.
I Tim, or you will get
Do you
offended.
get a discount if I talk?
What, Mommy?
Okay, so
Your bear broke.
Charlotte, can you give me a persuasion check?
I can try. That's a hearty 6, but with my -1, it's a 5.
Okay,
so Turek, how persuaded do you feel by this?
I need to be persuaded.
Why
Music
did you
is answer
answer
to my
positively?
to my veins. I'll give it the best belly then save it, don't you, darling?
I'm like badly dancing to the beat. Like
I follow you then.
I'm like
That's
offbeat
dancing.
clicking. Oh yeah, 100%. It's not like beautiful and ritualistic. It's bad.
It's proper dad dance.
I want you queers.
Right, so your attempts at dancing have amused the two soldiers that are in the inn with you, and then after the song sort of finishes, this one over here, who was very much the swordsman of the two, basically comes over to Kashan. Is you there, fellow warrior? Did you fight at Beamfield?
Good question, did I?
Yes, you did. But when you were present at the battle, but your particular contingent, as it were, you didn't fight on the front lines. You were put in the rear guard because there was a quite high chance that the Vikings would outflank you. But in this particular battle, they didn't. So you didn't actually see any fighting in that battle.
I was there for sure.
Well, we definitely gave those heathen scums a run for their money. We taught them how Saxons fight, didn't we?
We sure did.
Okay, so the Battle of Beamfield was considered a very heroic victory. Not necessarily because the Saxons won, but because they were able to kill the leader of the Vikings, which is what caused the Vikings to then do a gentle retreat. And so, through the miracles of propaganda, the Saxons then were able to play this as a great victory, in which all of the Vikings were all eradicated, as it were.
Sorry, I think we're just upsetting Charlotte now.
Mommy.
David, did you get that?
Yeah. Did you serve as well?
Mommy.
Oh, yeah.
Mommy.
Hey, Maya.
I served in the shield wall that was on the left flank under Lord Leofric. Under which lord did you serve?
Do I know which lord I was under? Do I have a name?
You didn't necessarily serve under a particular lord. You served as part of a mercenary group, and that mercenary group answered specifically to the king of the time.
I suppose I'll just sort of relay that to him that I was part of a mercenary group that answered to the king at the time.
I see. Like, his respect for you immediately deteriorates. And that, did you ever fight on behalf of the Vikings? The
No,
answer is no.
never.
Yeah.
Never for the heathens.
And how long are you going to be fighting with us this time?
I don't have an exact time frame in mind, but I come to help once more.
Good man. Good man. I'll leave you to your drinks, mercenary.
And you, soldier.
Okay, so aside from all of the fat people dancing videos that you're putting on the group, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm stroking this bear's head, trying to see if I can wake it up.
Charlotte, what are you doing?
I'll stop dancing once I realised it was bad. And I'm just gonna take a
Reverend,
seat and make some small conversation with the people in the tavern.
Okay. McKelly, what are you doing?
I I will happily sit nearby, waiting for my food to arrive.
Okay.
Kinda hungry.
Right, so the food is eventually plated up as a very, very watered down stew that has possibly like 3 or 4 pieces of meat in it collectively, along with a very basic selection of vegetables and then like a mug of ale each to water it down with a piece of like stale bread to go with it.
Can
I
just sort of flick
I
my
think I need to
vegetables?
work with the chef.
What was that, McKelly?
I said I think I need a word with the chef.
Can I throw my vegetables at just a random person walking past?
Okay, so I'll do McKelly first. So the bartender just looks at you and is like, "You're speaking to him, Arsling."
Oh, kind sir. I think me and my fellow group of friends, we actually paid for something sustainous, and this is water with some random fruits, vegetables. Is by any chance we can get something else to go with it, please?
Right, I can see if there's any biscuits in the cellar, Arsling. It'll cost you extra though.
Well, I just said that this is not a substantial meal as a standard supposed to be, and there might be something else to go with it that is complementary.
Well, if you don't like it, Arsling, you can go elsewhere. I mean, you eat exactly what me and my family eat.
Well, I'm sorry for you and your. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Are you now gonna take up the mantle and cook some better food?
Give him some
Do you-
cooking
do you-
lessons.
Do you mind me to improvise something for us all? I guess I'm kind of great on cooking.
You can if you want, Arsling, but I ain't cleaning your pots for you.
Oh, I guess my friend Mariella will be really happy too.
You just
Yeah,
bought-
I'm already in the sink. I'm already scrubbing the pots.
And then the bartender goes over to Kashan and is like, "Why exactly did your friends pay for food whenever they were capable of cooking it themselves, Arsling?"
So we're lazy.
I can appreciate that, Arsling.
Yeah. So yeah, Turek is just gonna improvise whatever whatever is possible to
Can I
cook.
try feeding the watery soup to the bear?
Sure, if you want.
See if I can wake up this bear.
And I find
I'll say the one from like one soldier to.
some.
I was always going to give him the extra silver.
I don't
The food's just an added bonus.
make some
Okay.
color
Good man, Arshling. Good man.
And scorpions and
I love the fact that he's insulting all of you with every single sentence he says, and none of you have picked up on
I
that.
said what is Arsling mean and nobody else.
At this point, I assume he's just an old Saxon brook, so everything's Arsling.
No, they're not gummy bears.
While Turk's cooking, I'd like to ask him about where he served or where he got his scars.
Oh, I served in pretty much every single battle from the Battle of Barden Hill to Beamfjord to the Welsh Marsh. Pretty much every single battle since the bloody Vikings came. I gave the royal court the better part of 30 years in the military. Do you want to know how I started, Arshling?
By calling
Tell me.
everyone an Arsling?
I started as a stonemason's slave. And I rose through the ranks and became a bodyguard to the king himself.
What's a king? I was like sitting there listening to me.
Arshling, your lizard pet is an utter idiot.
I'm not a pet.
Do you even know what a pet is?
No.
Well, then you're an idiot.
She might just be
Can
that.
I pull
The world
something
is
out
new.
my magic bag of tricks and let it loose in his pub just to piss him off?
Oh, God. Bear in mind you're still into sleep here.
I don't care. Maybe it's something he can eat. It's a 4.
What's the 4 gave?
I don't know. I need to get to the pig.
Oh,
A pig. I set a boar loose in his pub. Look, food.
I'll attempt to catch the
Turek,
pig.
I released the pig.
Wait, is this just normal pig or a giant
It's a
pig?
boar.
Okay, good.
So I just set a boar loose in the pub for everyone to eat.
Well,
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to restrain it and take it outside.
Providing I tell it what to do, it'll behave itself.
Arsling, if that pig makes arslings on the floor, then you're paying for it.
I want to do
I
that.
thought
Are we
you were making your
actually
dinner.
using
your
this as
nice
food?
dinner. Pig. I know you find that funny. Don't you?
I want to do it.
Hey, David, what are you doing?
I want to do
Right. So there's now a boar in the inn. Are we actually planning to eat the boar?
You can if you want. I can tell it to do whatever I want to tell it to do. So if I want to tell it keel over and die so we can eat it, it would.
All right. I mean, I'm definitely inclined. Turek, can you do something with this?
You can throw it
Oh yeah,
pig.
you kill it for me. Why not? But what it actually is
It's a boar, like pig,
a pig.
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah.
A boar is
Okay.
a wild pig.
Yeah, well, in our temple we don't throw away nothing from the pig, even
Make
from
it into bacon.
the bones, from the
You can make it
from the nails with the subs.
off.
Okay. Can I just take the pig outside and kill it and let Turek go to town getting meats?
Okay. In order to sort of like get the meat into a state of cookability, you will need to skin it and
I have had
Yeah.
artisan thingies that let me do that.
okay. So you go out with them.
Yeah, as I butchered the pig.
Maya.
When I can take my pig out. Right, pig's outside.
Yeah, I don't think I have the tools
I'm
to.
outside. Okay. I'm slaughtering the pig and bringing the pig meat back in.
Okay, so are you going to be merciful and just like kill it quickly, or are you going to be like really
Yes, we are highly effective lizard people.
psychopathic about it and be really slow about
I'm
it?
just gonna like bite its neck and kill it one bite,
Okay.
and then I'll get my temporary hit points at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, you get one. You get a temporary hit point. Okay, so you're going to spend like the better part of an hour sort of like just skinning this pig?
Yeah, and then I give the pieces to Shurik. Apart from a few pieces that I can eat raw.
Oh, it's okay, Bubba, it's okay. Okay, so shall we basically just say from this point you guys take a long rest and we'll sort of end the session here?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Sounds perfect to me.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're eating bacon at the beginning of the next session. There's the bacon, Turk.
Making
Just dropped a pig on
bacon.
his-
Bacon pancakes.
Yes. Bacon and blueberry.